Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Vantage Point on ITV. I'm your host, Mohammed Choonara. Thank you for joining us this evening. In tonight's show, as South Africa celebrates Mandela Month in the month of July, we bring you a short documentary on the life and times of the former president, Nelson Mandela. Take a look.
Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela began his life herding sheep and cattle in the rolling hills of South Africa's Eastern Cape. In his autobiography, part of which was written secretly while in prison, Mandela wrote, "I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free. Free in every way that I could know. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut. Free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village. Free to roast mealies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow-moving bulls. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion, when I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it." Nelson Mandela's given name, Rolihlahla, literally means tugging at the branches of a tree. But at school, he was given the name of another famous leader.
When I went to school, the lady teacher, Miss Mdingane, asked, "What is your name?" I told her my African name, Rolihlahla. She says, "No, I don't want that one. You must have a Christian name." So I say, "No, I don't have one." She says, "From today, you are going to be Nelson."
So henceforth, he would be known to the world as Nelson Mandela. As the son of a chief, Nelson Mandela had access to the best education available to black people in South Africa at the time. Studying at Fort Hare University, where he first became involved in student protest, his refusal to accept injustice, unfairness, and inequality would last a lifetime. South Africa, 1941. In his early 20s, Nelson Mandela moved to Johannesburg, where he first encountered the racial discrimination that would later become entrenched in law by the apartheid government. Working on the mines and later as a clerk in a law firm, Mandela pursued his law studies and joined the African National Congress, the oldest black political organization in South Africa.
It was when I came into the African National Congress that I realized that causes are only a part of the African people. That the task of the ANC was to unite the African people and out of them build a nation.
In 1948, the nationalist government was voted into power by the white electorate in South Africa, and the battle lines were clearly drawn.
Comrade Oliver said, "Well, I like this because we now know we have an enemy in power, and I think that we're going to have a better opportunity of mobilizing our people."
Our policy is one which is called by an Afrikaans word apartheid. And I'm afraid that has been misunderstood so often. It could just as easily, and perhaps much better, be described as a policy of good neighborliness.
In 1955, the ANC and other organizations called upon people of all races to gather in Kliptown to approve the Freedom Charter, a blueprint for a free, democratic, and multiracial South Africa, in which all races would be treated equally. Nelson Mandela, one of the chief organizers of the gathering, was banned by the government from attending and was forced to watch proceedings from the sidelines. In 1956, the organizers of the Freedom Charter and other leaders in the Congress movement were charged with high treason. The trial was specifically designed to occupy the opposition and keep them out of politics. It dragged on for 4.5 years, and it would be another 40 years before the Freedom Charter finally bore fruit. South Africa, 1960, Sharpeville, a black township in the industrial area south of Johannesburg. A peaceful crowd gathered to protest against the pass laws was shot at by police. 69 people died. The nationalist government imposed martial law. All opposition was banned and thousands were jailed. When it became clear that all means of peaceful negotiation had been exhausted, Mandela went underground to lead the armed struggle.
We have made it very clear in our policy that South Africa is a country of many races. There is room for all the various races in this country. There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence against a government whose reply is only savage attacks on an unarmed and defenseless people.
Key government installations were targeted for sabotage. Mandela became known as the Black Pimpernel. In 1962, Mandela was captured, charged with leaving the country illegally, and sentenced to imprisonment for 5 years. Shortly afterwards, his ANC comrades were captured with evidence which incriminated Mandela. He returned to court for the Rivonia trial, where he and 8 others faced a possible death penalty.
The very speech which was made by Nelson consolidated the spirit of the people outside, because it was a defiant spirit.
I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all nations live together in harmony and with equal opportunity. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
When Nelson Mandela and several of his colleagues were sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964, the political convicts were sent to Robben Island, the bleak island prison off the Western Cape Coast. Nelson Mandela was 45 years old when he became prisoner number 466 of 1964. He would be in his early 70s before he would again be a free man. Forced to perform futile hard labor in a lime quarry, the prisoners refused to be broken. Far from being diminished, Mandela's moral leadership and stature continued to grow while he was in prison. His young wife, Winnie, continued to be an inspiration to the struggle.
That day is not far when we shall lead you to freedom.
Amanda! Away to power to the people. But the struggle against apartheid would continue for another quarter century. While Nelson Mandela and his co-accused served life sentences on Robben Island, other leaders of all races and in all spheres campaigned for change. Many faced imprisonment or exile. And around the world, ordinary people showed their horror of apartheid and their support for the struggle.
The purpose, friends, of this boycott is for the people of Britain to register on the widest possible scale their passionate protest against an evil and repulsive doctrine which says that a man's legal status, a man's political rights, a man's economic opportunities, a man's social position shall depend solely upon the color of his skin.
But in 1976, Soweto school children marched in protest, and townships around the country erupted in violence. It was the beginning of the end for apartheid, but the struggle dragged on for more than a decade as the Afrikaner nationalist government clung to power.
I've been lenient and patient. Don't push us too far.
In the late 1980s, amid a tide of world pressure, the South African government was forced to accept the inevitable and began dismantling apartheid. In 1990, at the age of 71, Mandela was released unconditionally.
I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. I place the remaining years of my life in your hands.
After leading negotiations for a new South Africa, Nelson Mandela cast his vote in the first free and democratic elections and became the country's first black president.
Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
For the duration of his presidential term, and throughout what should have been a well-earned retirement, he has worked tirelessly to entrench the ideals he has so long stood for, becoming universally revered as an icon of leadership and humanity.
We hope you enjoyed the documentary. Stay tuned, we'll be back after the short break. Welcome back to Vantage Point. The war in Syria has displaced millions of people and many millions have been killed. And in the next clip, we're going to show you a clip of a group of girls in the Zaatari refugee camp who have videoed their experiences living in the camp. Take a look.
وفي هذا المساء البارد يجلس أبو عوض هو وزوجته وجيرانه يتبادلون الحديث، يتذكرون هؤلاء الجالسون ماضيهم الجميل في سوريا، ذلك الماضي الذي يحلم الكثير من الناس العودة إليه، ليته يعود.
إن شاء الله بتزول عننا هالغيمة عمي وبنرجع لبلادنا بخير وسلامة إحنا وأطفالنا.
طفولة حرب. أطفال مخيم الزعتري في منهم انولدوا في حرب وفي منهم عاشوا في فترة الحرب.
تصميم الطاولة الصورة كل هذا يكون نفس الكتابة. تمام. هل أنت
اسمي مرحل خطيب، عمري 17 سنة، انولدت بسوريا بدرعا، جيت على الأردن إلى مخيم الزعتري إلي 4 سنين.
أنا فكرة صح ولا لا؟
انه لازم كل انه
طيب ارسمي وحده هون غيرها بدالها يلا
انه تكتب لا كل شيء هيك هيك وحتى كله يكمل عادي.
بالضبط. هلا رح نحكي في الموضوع.
هاي الصورة تحطها هون بس تحكي بشكل عام عن كل الصور اللي
هلا رح نحكي.
دورات كثير مثل ما قالت معهم المخيم، بس انه كلها دورات معتاده، خياطه، اشياء. التصوير كان شيء مميز.
انا قبل ما اجي على المخيم بسوريا انا ما كنتش افكر بالتصوير ولا كنت حابب اطلع رائدة فضاء او صيدلانية،
لاني من خلال تصويري للعالم بختلط فيهم، بسأل، بشوف قصصهم.
بس يطبع الكتاب بيجي بعدين بوصل لك اياها من هون من هون، فاذا حاطه صورتك على الطرف وطلعت نتفه تقطش الصوره.
هي كله ولا جمالي.
تمام اوكي.
بالنسبه لمجتمعنا الشاب بيختلف عن البنت، الشاب بيحق له يعطي رايه، بيحق له يعمل الشيء اللي بده اياه، البنت لا. فنحن لما بلشنا نمارس مواهبنا ونعمل هاي الاشياء اللي هي التصوير والكتابه والصحافه، ما كان هدفنا انه نكسر كلام المجتمع، لا كان هدفنا نورجي المجتمع انه هذا الاشي خطا.
يعني لو اني بسوريا ولا بقدر اسوي شيء، حتى لو انه مش على قصد مجتمعنا، بس اهلي ما بيرضوش، اخواتي ما برضو انه خلاص بس تصير عمرها 18 خلاص ما عاد تكمل قرايه، هيك خواتي يعني. ولا بحياتي صورت اصلا، انه ولا بحياتي مسكت كاميرا.
هذا تونا قاعد نجيب سيرته. نجهز عجينة الفلافل وش نعمل لها برا.
أكثر شيء واجهنا إنه مثلا الناس إنه يقولوا إنه ما بحبوش تصوير المخيم، بخافوا إنه ما يوافقوش على التصوير، بخافوا كمان يطلعوا على التلفزيون. وأكثر الأفلام عن الناس اللي بعرفهم أنا، إنه بعرف حالاتهم.
أنا جوزي سورية، توفى جوزي، جيت لعند أولادي على مخيم الزعتري. عندي 4 أولاد وما بقدرش أقوم عن الكرسي، بقعد عند كل واحد شهر مشان يساعدوني، ما بقدرش أقوم لحالي.
كان هون أو سوريا بيحققوا إنه ما يخاف من الحلم إذا بدي يحققه ولا لا.
ممكن إنه أعطتني تفاؤل أو أمل إنه عم أتعلم إشي جديد، حبيت هذا الإشي.
هلا أنا عم بطور بحالي أكثر وبأكثر وما رح أظني ساكت.
تقوت شخصيتي شوي يعني.
لأنه إحنا ملينا من إنه الإعلام كله بيحكي إنه الناس مخيم الزعتري إنهم حزينين، صح نحن عنا حزن وعنا مثلا أشياء تكسر قلوبنا، بس نفس الوقت نحن قويين، عم نتحدى.
طفولة حرب. أطفال مخيم الزعتري في منهم انولدوا في حرب وفي منهم عاشوا في فترة الحرب، والوقت اللي لازم يعيشوا فيه طفولتهم يجي الحرب وما قدروا يعيشوا، بس رغم هذا كله ما سمحوا للحرب تقف في طريقهم، في طريق طفولتهم.
And in our final clip for tonight, albinism is a genetic disorder that affects hundreds of thousands of people throughout Africa, and many Africans believe that albinos contain some kind of genetic thing in them that could help them with certain diseases. So these albino kids are hunted and their limbs are hacked off. In our next clip, we're going to the United States, where a group of albinos were taken to the United States, where they were given prosthetic limbs, and these limbs allow these people to have some kind of a normal life.
The 4 kids we have here now from Tanzania are so special, so well-mannered, very studious. You can't comprehend it, how someone would go and just do this.
People with albinism in Tanzania, their life is different because of what is still going on in Tanzania, hunting for their body parts. Those who are in danger are children and women, and it's because they can't fight back.
Mmoja kwa tumelala. Sasa siku mama wangu akatoka, ndo akakutana majambazi, akapigwa. Ndo hapo akaenda kuita majirani, ndo majambazi wakaja wakanikata mkono wangu.
Baraka, of course, cried out, and the father pretended that he was sleeping. His father was arrested and he was in jail. So what happens is, often the parents are involved in this horrible happening.
I like mathematics and civics because I want to be a president.
2015 is when the kids first came, and they stayed 4 months. They're traumatized. It took a long time until they opened up. This time they laugh more, they're more verbal, and it's because of trust. They live here for several months. They see that we love them. In Tanzania, if by chance there is a prosthetic facility, it's only cosmetic. 2015, this was the first time they received prosthetics. It's about a year, maybe a year and a half, that they need to come back, because we help them until they're 21. Baraka is only 7. He'll have to come back 10 to 12 times because he's going to outgrow his prosthetic.
How do you feel? Good. Good? Yes. All right. To put it on, yes.
Your weapon.
Yeah, your weapon. All right, let's see. Push more.
Emmanuel is such a gentle soul. He's probably the most sensitive out of all of them. They not only macheted his arm, they took all of his fingers. They also tried to yank his tongue out. He'll be coming back actually again in October for surgery for the hand to enable him to have a much better grip, because he loves to paint, he loves to draw, he's a phenomenal artist. He did that, Emmanuel. I'm showing the picture he drew.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people that have learned about them here say, well, why can't they stay here? However, I really believe that they can grow, and they're all smart, and be productive in the community. And they can be advocates for people with albinism. I hate goodbyes, and I hate them as a little girl because my father used to travel a lot. But I know that they're coming back. That saves me. They've come such a long way. They feel the love, they go home empowered. They go home with restored dignity.
That's all the time we have for this evening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, you can interact with us on Twitter at ITV_SA, or send us an email at vantagepoint@itvnetworks.tv. From all of us in the team, have a wonderful evening. Fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.